That's
screaming
a
right when you said that.
that's qu-
That's a great opening. Thanks for
that's
that one.
quite it. That's quite an order.
Yeah, I can't take credit for that. The guys and We Watched a Movie, they say that every time they do a reaction. So
I follow those guys too.
they're so fucking funny. I had to slip that in.
Home or otherwise.
I had to slide that in.
Yeah, you did.
Yep. And it was not dry.
Michael, I'm texting you something right now. Okay.
Okay.
Speaking of sliding things in, let's slide into some ear holes.
Are you telling me I'm canceled?
No.
Uh, Not yet, but we'll see how the night progresses. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Fat Minute, and we got a star-studded cast here tonight. Joined tonight by my co-host, the Trash Can Killer BVJ.
Hello.
Also joined by our good friend, the Wanted Ad Slayer, Mike.
Hello.
Also joining us is the Slice and Dicer, Trevor.
Blue.
Also, Count Dracula.
Also joining us is the Midtown Ripper, Sean.
Oh, geez. Hey, how you doing?
Oh wow, so spooky.
Is that like a killer or a fart joke?
Hey, first one, then the other.
Okay.
And I am, of course, your host, the hash-slinging slasher, Don John. So tonight, we're all gathered here together to discuss the most recent entry in the Halloween franchise, Halloween Kills. Came out this last weekend. All four of us saw it this last weekend, and we're just going to get into it, just discuss it, and give our thoughts, and kind of review it together. So we'll just kind of start off with our initial, just kind of summary of our initial thoughts. Just to get into it, I honestly thoroughly enjoyed Halloween Kills. I went into this movie not knowing what to expect because from what I was hearing, it was not getting. Is somebody eating candy or something?
It's Trevor.
Is it me?
I'm hearing
No,
rappers.
it's a fucking cat toy. Jasmine's in here with me.
Oh,
It's cool.
Oh, the cat's eating candy. Okay.
Yep.
Got the trick or treating started early. I see. But yeah, before I went into this movie, I was hearing online that this movie was not getting great reviews. It was getting mixed to even negative reviews. And I try not to listen to like Rotten Tomatoes too much because I think Rotten Tomatoes is not as good an indicator to a movie's quality as a lot of people think. Um, but it was like at 43%. Letterboxd, it was at Letterboxd right now. It's at like 2.5 stars out of 5. It was not getting great reviews online. I was hearing that it was boring, it was a letdown. So I went in not sure what to expect, and I came out pleasantly surprised. I thought it was a decent movie. I thought it was a solid follow-up to another solid film, being the 2018 Halloween movie. So I mean that's just my initial thoughts. I'll just go ahead and bounce to you guys. Go ahead and get into your initial thoughts before we start getting into the nitty gritty of the movie.
Halloween Kills has Halloween skills.
God. Great gym
Trevor, you
class.
go
You're
ahead.
right.
Yeah, Donnie, I think I'm pretty much on the same page with you. I was really pleasantly surprised, and that may come up from the fact I heard so much bad buzz beforehand.
hmm
It definitely didn't help. I watched it on Peacock, and they show the Rotten Tomatoes score right.
Shit. Shit. Hate it when that happens.
There he is.
Sorry about that. Trevor, can you start again from where you were saying like you watched it on Peacock and it shows the Rotten Tomatoes score?
Watched it on Peacock. Yeah, they have the Rotten Tomatoes score like right beside the play button.
hmm
So when I watched it, it was hovering like right around the low 40s, and I don't know. That's a great way
I
to.
feel like that's an algorithm that could really come back to bite them in the ass.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you've got that right beside your brand new theatrical movie you're advertising. I don't know
Right.
why.
Right.
I had never used Peacock prior to this, so I don't know. But yeah, no, I was very thoroughly surprised, and really I'm having trouble following the logic of a lot of the things I've seen critics saying. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I hear it's slow, I hear it's boring, and I mean, yeah, there is kind of a slow point in the middle, I'd say, like when they really dive deep into like the hospital portion of the movie, like that kind of got a little boring and I felt a little distracted. Um, but other than that, I thought it was an improvement on 2018 in just about every way. I don't think we've ever talked about, or at least I've never talked about the 2018 one on the podcast before, but
Go ahead and touch on
I
that.
I really didn't like it. I I
No.
walked out of the theater for the first time like not liking it at all. I could find almost no redeeming qualities except that some of the performances were great. The cast was pretty good. But I know like Danny McBride was involved in the initial reboot and like I don't know if it was just his involvement or what, but I felt like there was way too much like humor and with that dumb humor in the original.
Oh, I got
Like
peanut butter on my penis.
yeah, but like I don't
That's
like
a joke from the movie.
there were so many points in 2018 where I was just distracted by the comedy, and in that vein, it almost reminds me of the newer Predator movie.
Fuck, I hate that movie.
It very much channels that same energy for me.
Oh,
But
well, to each their own, but Predator 2018, fuck that movie.
I'm not saying they're equal quality. It just reminds me of it.
Yeah,
Like I put
it was the Predator. They added a the.
oh
Oh.
The Halloween.
Well, I didn't
The
give
hell.
a shit.
The shit.
put that on the T-shirt. But yeah, I really did not like the 2018 one. Like every time they mixed in humor, I thought it was like overly distracting because it was never like just a gag. It was like they took it too far. Like the one kid and his dad, and he keeps going on about dancing. I was like, that bit went on like too long. The two cops talking about like their lunch, what they brought with to work with them.
Yeah,
That
fuck that.
part. That like it all like every time they mixed in like a gag, it went on too long. The little kid being babysat,
I'm starting
who's
to think.
like,
I'm starting to think I didn't see 2018 Halloween at all because I don't remember those bits at all.
Me
No,
neither.
they're
Yeah.
there.
well, no, because the kid the scene with the kid talking about how he wants to be a dancer, they're the ones who find the bus
bus.
after it's wrecked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like they're the first ones that kind of have a run in with Michael Myers. Um,
And then the cops is
yeah.
like near the third act.
Yeah, there was that. I didn't like the bit with the kid being babysat, or like he
Oh
was
no,
he was like
the kid being babysat was funny. When
it just
when he sees Michael Myers and just goes, "Oh shit!" Like I fucking lost it.
that it took me out of it for some reason, and maybe it was that in combination with the other things I mentioned, but
Yeah,
I
can
I
see
thought they just you can have jokes in a horror movie, but like it was just overkill to me. I don't know. Like every time I was really getting into 2018, like there was some dumb bit that went 30 seconds too long that just totally pulled me out of it. Um, I really like the third act. That said, like the whole family in the house going after Michael, that was cool. I did like that. But no, back to this movie. I think like any attempt at humor was better illustrated in the world. Like it wasn't over the top. It wasn't jarring. Um, and I don't know. I like that we had more of a focus on just like Michael Myers killing people in this one.
Mhm.
Like I think a very big flaw in how they promoted these movies is they announced 2 and 3 at the same time.
Yeah.
And COVID didn't do that any favors with
No.
delaying the first of the two parts. But I don't know. I think it succeeds as a middle movie in a trilogy. That said, but that's kind of like my basic thoughts for now.
All right, go ahead.
Michael, start with what you thought of 2018 briefly, and then you can go into this one.
Well,
Well, it was a
like,
good year, but
yeah, but no, I like the 2018 Halloween. My only problems with it is like, yeah, like Trevor said, some of the humor is trying a little too hard. Like I liked the little boy like being babysat. Like he was like, I know the old shit moment does kind of kill the tension, but like just the parts where he's talking to his babysitter is really funny. And but a lot of the humor was forced, like the dad, like the peanut butter on the penis. Like I just like couldn't wait for the dad to fucking die.
yeah.
I was just like, thank God that fucking dude died. It's like he's the worst, most annoying dad ever. But it's like God. But other than the fucking dad. But no, like the 2018 movie I really liked. I think this is probably um besides like the original Nick Castle, like Michael Myers. I think this is like James Jude Courtney. I think he's probably the second best Michael Myers. And I guess not a lot of people talk about that. Like people talk about the main actors, but like as far as portrayals of Michael Myers, like I think he's definitely the best. Besides Nick and then Nick Castle was even in it. Like he stood in for like a couple shots just to say he was in it. And I also really like the mask because like I don't know how they keep screwing it up, but like so many Halloween sequels, the Michael Myers mask looks like shit.
Yeah, they've gotten this mask wrong more times than they've gotten it right over the franchise.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't have like such a pronounced like neckline in the last one, did it?
No.
No.
Like in this one, it was like it half the time it looked like it was halfway off.
Well, it was
Yeah.
partially
It
melted
got
because
like
he was in a house fire.
yeah.
That's
like,
that's true.
But I even like the 2018 look. I like how it was like dirty and kind of brittle
Yeah.
looking.
Well, the
It was
2018 movie did what the first Rob Zombie movie tried to do, which was age it, but the Rob Zombie movie went too far with it to where it just got kind of silly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rob Zombie looked like he wiped his ass
That's-
with it.
It's kind of a
I mean,
that's
he
kind of
might
a
have.
running
Already did.
it's kind of a running theme with Rob Zombie taking it a little too far.
Yeah.
The patron saint of trying too hard.
Yeah.
God, he's gonna fuck up the monsters.
Yes, that's the real concern here is he's going
As
to
a-
fuck up the
as a-
national treasure known as the Munsters.
As an avid
This video is gonna
monsters
turn
fan,
into a monsters rant.
yeah.
It's not my monsters, even though it came out when my grandparents were fucking kids.
Oh, Mike, you did remind me of like one other little beat. This has like a lot of interesting cameos in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. Yeah, like fucking Stewart from Mad TV's in it.
Yeah. Well, the one, this one's like way more niche, but the one cop in the flashback sequences is Jim Cummings, who's like a kind of indie horror director, but it was just weird seeing him in like a big name horror movie.
Was he the young?
He's the one that
sheriff?
gets strangled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the one that gets choked
Okay,
out.
Are we doing spoilers? Is this spoiler talk?
Yeah, yeah, probably should have mentioned that at the beginning. There will be spoilers.
Yeah, everybody, we're doing
I mean,
spoilers.
We didn't really delve into too much, but
No.
Right.
No.
okay.
But once again, just your initial thoughts though. If Michael, you can get on to kills though.
Whatever, stop fucking interrupting me.
Sorry.
I'm kidding. But no, like 2018, the main problems I had with that was like some of the
He said,
humor-
"Move on."
Yeah. Well, I didn't get to finish, motherfucker. but is that and the twist with Dr. Sartan? I never liked that. And the problem with that twist is if with a twist you either need to go like all in or just not do it at all because he stabs the sheriff and he's like, oh, I need to see Michael in his natural environment and him and Laurie Strode need to go toe to toe together. And then 2 seconds
All right,
later,
Gargamel.
he gets his face caved in. That's what he sounded like. He's like, Michael, say something.
I feel like I'm watching the movie right now.
Doing a play-by-play.
Say something.
Michael, please, your thoughts on Halloween Kills 2021.
Okay, but no, no, Halloween Kills. I liked it. I kind of like him about the same level because there's things I like better in this movie, but then there's some things I like in the 2018 movie better. So I'd say they're about equal. But I really like the concept of the whole town and the mob thing and like people going like kind of nuts like to kill Michael Myers. I also like the like it's not the regular horror scenario where it's just either people are just scared or people are being dumb and they don't pay attention. So it's just like the same horror scenario all over again. I like that there's, and I like I feel like when the shit like hits the fan and starts, like the movie does not slow down at all. To me, like I thought it was
Absolutely.
very like fast paced.
Hmm.
Like even the talking parts of the hospital, there's still a bunch of crazy shit going on.
Mhm.
And I saw a lot of people complain about how Jamie Lee Curtis is kind of sidelined in this movie. I'm like, well, I mean, I feel like they're saving her again for like the third movie, and two, it's like she's like super old and like she got like stabbed multiple times. Like they were trying to be, I guess, a little realistic.
Well, I mean, if you think about like any trilogy of movies where like 2 and 3 are released back to back, like in most cases, the protagonist is sidelined in the second one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Like
Except
Neo,
that's usually like
Neo
a
gets
trilogy
stuck.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Neo gets stuck in the subway. Jack Sparrow's dead.
that happens
That
in the
that
third movie, bro.
does what? Didn't he get like he
It,
got
ha-
fucking stuck for a while in the second one?
it happens at the end of the second movie is when he dies.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Pirates thing, like they kind of do it with like Will Turner. Like Will Turner gets like captured and he's on the Flying Dutchman, so it kind of
Mm.
happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're not talking about fucking pirates. No
That's next
horror.
week.
Yeah, that's next week. That's next podcast.
All right.
You
Sean?
want to no throwback? We're gonna do a Pirates of the Hudson throwback.
Ugh.
Nobody even knows what that is on this, bro.
Yeah, hashtag who knows that. But anyways, no, I really liked it. This is probably one of the goriest Halloween movies I've ever seen. Like there was like straight up scenes where like, and I don't really get bothered by movies, but there were scenes where I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I
Like,
flinched a couple times.
yeah, but no, I liked it. It's about the same. They're about the same equally for me.
Sean, very quickly, what you thought of 2018, and more importantly, what you thought of this one.
Okay, so 2018 holds a very special place in my heart. I remember we saw that opening night. You and I saw it together, Blake, and
Oh, Muffin.
yes,
Oh,
I know. It was very sweet. It was very touching. I think we held hands too. Anyway,
Damn well
that's
better.
one for the grandkids.
I even cut a hole at the bottom of my jack-o'-lantern.
All
Jesus Christ.
right, easy now.
This is a
Holy
family
shit, you're
show.
Candy.
Yeah, geez. Anyway, so I really enjoyed the 2018 one. I'm gonna be completely honest. Before I saw the 2018 one, I've never seen any of the other ones. I've never even seen the original Halloween until, yeah, believe it or not, I did not see the original Halloween until this past week, right before I went and saw Halloween Kills.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, for real. Honestly, I don't know if we want to get into this, but I thought that one was dog shit. So
Oh wow.
that's just the way. Yeah,
The
straight
original
up.
Halloween?
Yep. We can talk about that later. I won't delve too much into that. If you guys want to roast me for it, that's fine.
Nah, you fucking watched H2O by
Yeah.
accident.
I remember Sean brought it up, and he goes, Blake, the original, the 1978 one, that's dog shit. And I go, oh, come on, Sean, that's a classic. And he goes, a classic what?
No, it was.
Sean has left the chat.
Oh my god, his mic just isn't working all of a sudden.
Yeah. Anyway, so I've just watched the original Halloween before I saw Halloween Kills. So I had never seen any of the other ones. I had never seen H2O. I haven't seen anything in the saga or any of Rob Zombie stuff. So the 2018 one was completely a fresh take for everything for me. And I really enjoyed it. It kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. Very suspenseful. I got what I want. I was like kind of terrified of like, walking outside. I mean, because, the I guess theoretically that movie could happen in real life. I mean, like not all of, like the supernatural stuff where he's living, but like a crazy ass masked man walking around on Halloween just killing people. That's a totally plausible thing. So it instills a sense of fear in people. So I really enjoyed it for that. I thought it really, hit home that whole message. So I was completely satisfied, and I really enjoyed the 2018 one. That's the bottom line.
Because Stone Cold said so.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the 20 Halloween Kills, I I also really enjoyed this one too. Now, I kind of agree with what Michael was saying. I was kind of saying like on this fence about it originally, where I feel like these two movies are very different. 2018 and Halloween Kills do two completely different things, but I think they both work in what they do. They are not the same type of movie, and that's fine by me. I mean, if I was watching the same movie again, I bet people would have still complained. We just saw
Mm-hmm.
this 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah,
It's
that's every critic
Ghostbusters too.
forever. Yeah, exactly.
Mercy.
So yeah, that was my whole thing. I knew what I was walking into whenever I saw this movie. All I kept hearing about was all how gory it was going to be, and it was like a big old slasher flick. It was going to be a huge body count. So I knew exactly what I was going to get whenever I walked in. I didn't go in expecting a big suspenseful thrill ride in respect to like, oh, it's going to be a slow burn or anything. No, this thing is like put the pedal to the metal, and it's just like, fucking Michael, like, going to town on literally everybody in Haddonfield. And I got what I wanted. And at the end of the day, I was satisfied. I went in knowing that there's going to be a huge body count. There's going to be a bunch of gore. And while it was not what 2018 was, I was still satisfied overall with everything that happened in it. So whenever all those reviews, again, coming back to what you guys were saying about like how the reviews were all negative, I was kind of disheartened by that whenever I first saw those reviews. I was just like, oh man, that's unfortunate, but obviously I'm still going to see it. Saw it, I'm like, all right, I don't know what the problem is here. It's kind of like, what did you fucking go in there expecting Macbeth? Like, what the hell did you expect?
I mean, a lot of people die in Macbeth, so
Yeah, exactly. So that I don't know what they were expecting. I was satisfied with it. I mean, like if you were going in expecting to get a 2018 Halloween or like, a slow, like edge of your seat type of thing instead of a adrenaline pump thrill ride, then yeah, I guess you'd be disappointed. I guess that's what it comes down to. But if you went in knowing that there's going to be just a bunch of gore, a bunch of violence, and it's just the middle chapter in a saga, there is honestly no reason you shouldn't like this movie. And that's where I'll leave it.
Sean, before we move on, I want to go ahead and just do it now. Go ahead and tell the story of the director's cut of Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So Blake and I had a coworker that was talking to me about how his favorite, version of Halloween is the Rob Zombie movie, but he would only watch the 8-hour director's cut.
What?
And at the time, I had no idea.
That's not a
exactly
thing.
Well,
There's no
exactly, that's my
fucking way.
point. So
Well,
he said there
let
was-
him tell the story.
I think he watched a marathon of the Thorn trilogy.
I don't know what the hell, like, I had no, like, reason to refute that, if I'm being honest with you, when he told me that, because, I've never seen any of the Halloween movies whenever I heard about this. This was before the 2018, but he said he only watches the 8-hour director's cut of the Rob Zombie movie. And I told Blake about that, and he's just like, Sean, I'm pretty sure that the two movies that he made don't even make 8 hours, or even 4 hours, half that runtime.
And I
So
go,
I'm trying.
yeah.
Go
And
ahead.
he tells me this, and I'm like, I'm like 8 hours. What is it showing his parents clap cheeks? Like,
No, there's just like a 2-hour scene of like Sherry Moon Zombie at the strip bar.
yeah. I'm like, was it showing his dad nutted for the first time? Like, what is going on at that?
You see a sperm cell with the William Shatner mask like flying.
So anyway, Sean and I were laughing over that. This guy was just a bullshit artist. But then from that birthed an interesting idea, which was what if there was a movie that was like, 3 hours long that like switched genres, like each, like the first hour was like a romantic comedy, and then it was a family drama, and then it was a full-on horror thriller slasher movie. Like that would be
Jack and Jill.
ambitious.
Dusk Till Dawn comes to mind.
True. Or like, I mean, even like a movie like Cloud Atlas flip-flopped between genres, but I mean like a movie that like stays in the same genre for one third and then another third and then the last third. But yeah, like I'll never forget when Sean told me that. I'm like, yeah, if you even combine the extended cuts of both of his films, it's not even 4 hours. Like, oh, shit.
I mean, you could argue Malignant. Like Malignant went from like a horror movie to like a kung fu movie.
Oh God, can Trevor and I just gush over that movie at the end of the night?
I do
I'm-
like that
I'm-
movie. That was a cool movie.
I'm gushing already.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, and you know what I forgot? You know what I forgot to fucking say? My favorite part of the movie was the flashback at the beginning. I thought they did the flashback to the '78 movie so well. Like I felt like it kind of looked like the cinematography from
The
the
cinematography, the music,
Well, it
the
was also nice to have it because
I wouldn't call it the lighting, but
Well, it was also nice to have that flashback at the beginning because, in the 2018 movie, they're just like, oh yeah, after he went on that rampage back in '78, he's just got caught and we just had him locked up here for the past 40 years. It's like, oh, that's it? That you just found him and that was it? So it was nice
Yeah.
to actually
Yeah.
it was nice to actually see it happen and how it went
Yeah.
down.
I was like,
we
fuck, I
put
wanna
him
watch
in
the
the
whole
world's biggest we put him in the world's biggest checkerboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever the
No,
fuck
no,
that
man.
asylum was.
No, man, that was a chessboard. He was a bishop.
Yeah.
That's fair.
He was playing Ron Weasley in Wizard's Chess.
That's why he can only move diagonally.
Diagonally.
Oh.
Oh.
I also agree with what Sean said about how this movie really puts like a realistic kind of fear into you because of something that could totally happen, like in real life.
Mhm.
Because of this movie, I now have a fear of stepping outside and seeing Will Shatner.
It's like my next door neighbor is a Trekkie.
Ugh. Blake, what'd you think?
Well, it looks like I'm going to be the punching bag tonight.
Oh no.
Oh, Jesus.
Let
Oh,
me
US is fucked.
let me start with what I liked.
Ooh.
Are you talking about the 2018 one at all?
Well, I already talked about the 2018 one with Donnie and a couple episodes ago, but let me just say I like 2018. I was a fan. I thought it was a decent legacy sequel. I liked everything in the movie except for, as Michael so elegantly put it, Michael speak.
I thought you were gonna say peanut butter on my penis, but go on.
No. When Michael Myers takes his big ass, fat ass foot and stomps on that dude's head, I'm out of here. But anyway, let me start with what I liked. Obviously, I like the John Carpenter music. That never gets old. Love it. I don't know, Donnie. I had no idea that people were saying this movie was slow and boring. I don't know where the fuck they're getting that from because, if anything, I thought this movie was paced really well.
Mhm.
Like, obviously, I mean, it it has the advantage. It has the advantage of like taking place over the course of like what 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like the movie's only 100 minutes, and I think like the events of the film are only like 200 minutes, if anything. So I think it benefited from that. But yeah, I thought it clicked along just fine. In fact, when it ended, I was like, oh damn, it's already ending.
Yeah.
Like I was completely okay with the pacing. I totally bought into Anthony Michael Hall is Tommy Doyle, like rounding up a posse. Like, and let me just add some clarity there. I'm not endorsing that happening in real life, but I totally bought into that. Like, if there was some shit going on in downtown Cumberland,
Absolutely.
there'd be some dudes that go over
Like
the Blue Bridge.
that was a point I was gonna make is how like looking at how the what because one thing I like about this movie is how it looks at how Michael has affected not just Lori and her family, but this entire community.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the community that this movie exists in is very much a community in terms of size, it feels like,
yeah.
similar to our hometown.
Right,
And if
right.
there was a serial killer running around Cumberland, Maryland, this exact thing would probably happen.
Yeah, if there was like a grainy video of Michael Myers posted on Cumberland on Patrol,
Ask to share this. Apparently, there's a serial killer on the loose.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you know there would be some guys going into Niners and My Place and Uncle Jack's being like, all right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get some of my high school friends and we're gonna beat the shit out of this guy. Like
Yeah,
people
yeah.
would be that dumb.
Yeah.
Nah,
No,
let's be
yeah.
honest. They'd probably go like, actually, he has a point.
No, straight up. You don't even have to kill anyone. If you just put on a Michael Myers mask and like blue coveralls and walk down the street, like you're gonna see fucking like trucks with the Punisher skull and like
Yeah.
back the blue like surround
Yeah.
your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also without making fun of it, I kind of dug that for like a side plot in the movie, because a lot of other slasher movies, it's like, oh no, we're so helpless. Like it was also, someone pointed out, it was also reminiscent of like a Western in a way, you know, like the guy trying to round up and be like, I need some good people. Everybody else go home. But yeah, no, like the weak ass neighborhood watch, I was like, I'm totally buying into this.
Yeah.
I really wanted that ventriloquist to join them, and like his little dummy has like a little tiny bat too, the one that keeps saying shit over and over.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I have to agree with Michael. My favorite parts were the 1978 flashbacks. Like the cinematography, the lighting, like they got just the right color palette, like the blue that existed in the original movie at nighttime. Like they nailed it. And I loved the recreation of Dr. Loomis, which was a mask. Like that wasn't CGI at all. Like
Yeah.
that was prosthetics.
I
That was
didn't know.
yeah, that was prosthetics and makeup. They had, you know, a physical stand-in, but then they had a guy doing a voiceover who was like, I guess, better at doing an impression of him voice-wise.
God damn you, Michael.
Yeah, no, he's like, tell me, officer, did he kill again? And I'm like, bro, he's been killing all night. Where the fuck have you been? Like,
Yeah, but did he do it again?
yeah. Did he kill again? No, like, I thought that was awesome, the recreation of Dr. Loomis. And it took me out of it, you know, with Stewart from Mad TV being there.
He was Little John, and then there was Big John.
Also, Big John and Little John, they summed up the first movie better than the flashbacks did, because Big John was like, Michael Myers, he stabbed his own sister in the tits. Kids are like, ew, gross. And I'm like, well, he ain't wrong. That is pretty much what happened. Like he did that. But
Justice for the Johns.
the part that just got me, and Sean can attest this, was when they were ready to go to war, and he's like, he goes to the cheese plate. I got this knife. And I got this knife, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
No, and mind you, he had a golf club in his hand, and he drops a golf club to wield a cheese knife.
Yeah. And he's like, also, that dude was totally a recreation of Danny McBride in Pineapple Express, because he had the kimono bathrobe on and everything. Like,
yeah.
Let's not forget. I mean, I know it comes back in later, but he fucking had a pitchfork at one point and put it back.
Yeah, exactly. Best kill in the movie was Michael Myers kicking the car door and that one woman like shooting herself in the head. Like
that was funny.
I fucking thought that was a little silly.
Really? Oh. Yeah. And so that was everything I liked. Now, half of me is like, oh, it's so excessive. It's so gratuitous as I clench my pearls. And then the other half of me is like, bro, the movie is called Halloween Kills, not Halloween Wounds. Like, but
Halloween Wounds.
There is, and this, and also like, you know, what other people have been saying, it's a middle installment that suffers from that, you know, filler episode. There is a scene that happens in the movie that I think topped the doctor in the previous film getting his head stomped in, and as Donnie called it, the shape becomes obtuse. There is a mental patient who is so frightened he is pushed to suicide, and he hits the ground like a cherry pie. Like it's like, god damn.
Yeah, but
And
see, falling from a building and splatting is more believable than a dude just stepping on your head.
yeah, yeah. And I'm not gonna get in, it's no mystery. Like, I'm squeamish. I don't like too much gore. I don't like the fleshy chunky stuff. But I like scary movies. I love Ghostbusters.
Fuck out of here.
Oh my! Oh.
I love scare. I love Ghostbusters. Fuck.
Oh, I'm a big
Oh.
metal fan. I love Five Finger Death Punch.
I never want to do this fucking show ever again.
Oh man, no. I always have to cover my eyes when the bad souls get taken away in the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze.
They fucking drag him off.
That shit is creepy as fuck.
Thanks for saying that like a character from Joe Dirt, Michael. But no.
Death Leopard sucks.
And in all seriousness, I'm trying not to clench my pearls. I'm trying not to get preachy. Yes, it was a cringy sight, him hitting that floor, or the ground, I should say. It's called the ground when you're outside. but also, what the problem I had with that scene is I felt it to be very cruel, like too cruel almost. And like, again, I know it's a Halloween movie. I know it's a Michael Myers movie. The movie's called Halloween Kills, but he doesn't even get killed by Michael Myers. He doesn't even get killed by the angry mob. It's just the scene of this mental patient who is so frightened, he's just pushed to ending it all and just killing himself. And it even has the bit where Judy Greer as Karen is like trying to comfort him and be like, "It's okay. I won't let them get to you. I won't let them get to you." So I just felt that was extremely cruel of the movie itself. And it's like, I know that this is a world where a crazed slasher is running amok, but for the world itself to be as cruel as it is, it's almost like in the third movie, they triumphantly defeat Michael Myers, and then Laurie Strode drops dead. And the next scene, the doctor's like, "Oh, it turns out she had a brain tumor all along, and she finally just kicked the bucket." Like, just very cruel of the world itself and the movie
It's kind
itself.
of like the ending to Into the Woods.
Yeah, yeah. So for
It's like,
me,
oh, they were all happily ever after, and then she cheated on her husband and jumped off a cliff.
yeah. And so for me, like, you can disagree, it's fine, it's all right. Maybe I just, was missing the theatrics of the genre itself, but for me, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's too much. It's too far. It's too upsetting. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But that was what I thought of it, like, summarized.
All right, well, kind of gear into a more open discussion of it, and I'll just kind of start us off here. And I'm going to start off with my rebuttal to some of the points you just made, Blake. How you're saying the scene with the mental patient committing suicide is too cruel. That's the point. I mean, that's the whole point of that whole subplot is how the whole community has become cruel out of their own manic frenzy. And if you think that's too cruel and too unbelievable, brother, I don't think we've been experiencing the same pandemic then. If you have a hard time believing people can be driven to shit like that, and you say he wasn't killed by the mob, but he is indirectly, sure, but he is killed by the mob.
It's a fear of what they would do to him if they got a hold of him.
Exactly. So
He would rather off himself than deal
Get
with
this
whatever they were
torpedo.
going to fucking do to him.
right.
Mhm.
So for you to say that's too cruel, I don't agree with that at all. I think it's a very realistic scenario, or I should say a very realistic outcome. And that whole subplot in general, with the hospital going after just the subplot of the second mental patient in general, is a
Mhm.
mixed bag to me because it does a good job of telling the story of how or I should say, helping tell the story of how Michael has affected the entire community and not just Laurie and her family, like I said earlier. Um, but the problem is the whole bit with the mob thinking that he's Michael. That's a bit of a plot hole for me because one,
Yeah.
They're
Why
not
would
the,
he run away?
well,
I agree.
that's
I
one.
agree.
One, why would he run away? Two, they ain't the same shape. Like you're comparing
Yeah.
you're comparing
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger to Danny DeVito here.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
no,
if
Hey,
you
somebody,
if you were
somebody catch that cartoon apple.
yeah.
Well, also,
like
it's like
if you
Michael Myers is tall, and it's like we got the fucking Penguin from Batman Returns
yeah
running around the
if
hospital.
if you were
It's
gonna try
fucking
to do
Michael. We've never seen his
And
face.
like, why would Michael come to the hospital unmasked and like skitter away afraid?
yeah, and if you were gonna do a subplot like that, you should have got an actor who was similar build to whoever was playing Michael. And
Right.
third,
Fuck, make that the cameo for the original
yeah,
Michael.
and third, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but like at the begin, like when Tommy Doyle's in the bar and it shows the shot of like the TV news report where like there was a bunch of murders in Haddonfield tonight, reminiscent of 40 years ago or whatever, and police and we're not sure if it has anything to do with these two mental patients who escaped earlier, and it shows their pictures, like it blurs out Michael's picture, but it shows
That
like
fucking bothered me.
it showed the other guy's picture, and that that bothered me too. But the reason being because I'm like, wouldn't they put their names on the news report? Like these mental patients escaped. Here are their names.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, my thing
like,
is too, like, even like hypothetically, like even if their names weren't on the news, you think
Mhm.
every single person in Haddonfield would know Michael Myers' face. Like, I understand we in the real world, like the movie audience, they don't want to show us his face. But like when somebody gets arrested, like they're gonna take his fucking mask off and take pictures of him, like mugshots. Like every
Right.
motherfucker in Haddonfield should know what Michael Myers' face looks like from the
my
news.
my rebuttal to that though is he's been locked up for 40 years, and a lot of the people who you know grew up long after that happened might not know what he looked like.
Yeah. But also, like, it's like one of those things like with Charles Manson and shit like that. Like, people looked him up every now and then, and you'd see his pictures from jail. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a stretch, but
Well,
Another.
Donnie, go. Just a note going off what you were saying with that opening bar scene.
Mhm.
It bothered me more in a technical sense because I was like, I just felt like really you couldn't find any better way to obscure his face than just taking the camera out of focus for a
Yeah,
shot.
or yeah, like you could have just cut back to Tommy Doyle and like
Like that was so weird. They just like unfocused the camera. It was like so lazy to me.
Mhm.
yeah. And another thing that kind of bothered me, a bit of a weird, I guess maybe plot hole, is when Tommy Doyle and the one the boyfriend's dad, they're like getting their like guns together and getting the crew together, and like the two teenagers come up and it's like, all right, you're coming with us. Like who the fuck is in their right mind is letting two fucking high school students join a manhunt for a fucking serial killer who has already amassed enough of a kill count, a kill streak to call in a tactical nuke if we were playing Call of Duty. Like
yeah.
that just I was like, why are
At,
you
at
letting
what
your fucking kids join in on this?
at what point did
I
the National Guard get called?
I like I if I was that kid, like I don't think I would want to join because I just
Yeah,
fucking saw my dead friend.
and your dead
By the
dad.
by the way, they sure fucking loved showing dead shots of Oscar in this movie.
Yeah,
They
they did
fucking
show
they
him a
fucking
lot.
loved reminding you that happened.
Yeah.
That was actually like in 2018. That was actually one of my favorite scenes. Is like when Oscar runs into Michael Myers and gets killed.
Yeah, yeah.
Impaled on the
They were
fence.
feeding me guacamole and rubbing against me.
And I will say this movie does suffer from a case of middle installment syndrome in a way. Um, but
Yeah,
I think it did that on purpose. I think this movie in a way kind of takes one for the team because as far as like the whole trilogy is concerned, because like what Sean was saying, if they would have just made another movie similar to 2018, people would be bitching that it was just 2018 all over again.
Mhm.
With this, because with 2018 they made a movie where they're like, all right, we've had like 40 years of fucking Halloween sequels that overall are not that great, so we need to strip this franchise down back to its bare basic roots. They did that with 2018, so now they're like, okay, this one we can start telling our own story a bit more. And they did that while maintaining those connections to the roots of the franchise. But also, they're
Yeah.
like, we got another movie coming, so like it has to set up that final confrontation. So, it kind of takes one for the team. It is there solely to set up a third movie, but it still tries to be a good movie in its own right. And I think for the most part it succeeds, but it does suffer from that middle installment syndrome just because Lori is sidelined for pretty much the whole movie. Her
Yeah.
and her and Michael don't even see each other. They don't have a scene together during the whole movie. Um, and we know it's just to set up a final confrontation in the third one. And the ending scene with Laurie's daughter, with Judy Greer getting killed, that I don't think I liked that, just because it feels almost unceremonious. Like it's like,
It did come out of nowhere.
yeah, well, it's
Mhm.
like you see it coming the second she starts walking in the house. I'm like, oh great, she's gonna die. Like we all fucking knew. But it just feels so unceremonious to just have her character just die like that at the very end of the movie. Just to, I guess they did it to give Laurie some sort of motivation of, for that final confrontation. But I'm like, she doesn't need any more motivation. She's already hell
Right.
bent on destroying this character. So
Yeah.
I just don't think it was really necessary. Um, but beyond that, I mean, again, I love how this movie tells the story of not just how Michael affected Laurie, but how he's affected this entire community. I love that it manages to up the ante in terms of the brutality with the kills, but I don't think it gets gratuitous or overly gory at all. I think maybe the only shot that I feel like maybe got a little too gory was in the beginning when he caves in like one of the firefighters' face, and like you see his face completely like gaping and caved in. Um,
Yeah.
that one is maybe the only one that was a little much, but even that wasn't too bad, I feel like.
You don't
Um,
you don't think the guy going splat was worse than that?
no,
Oh.
I mean,
I thought the whole I don't I th- of all the kills in the movies, I'd say I dislike those ones right at the beginning the least, with like the firefighters. I just thought the whole premise was a little goofy there.
I don't know. I like that scene, especially when we see Michael for the first time, the way he just comes out of like
Uh,
that garage door like he's Frankenstein's monster. I thought that was awesome, and I thought
I
that
love
was
that
I
they
thought that
just
was a
start
great
spraying the
way.
hose at him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
he
Yeah.
does nothing.
like I guess like if you were sprayed with an actual fire hose, it would knock you flat on your ass and shoot
Yeah,
you about
that
5 feet. But that did not have like
Right,
even
right.
half of the water pressure of an actual fire
yeah,
hose.
fire hose that'll fuck your shit up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I and also like and this is just movies 101, but I got so frustrated with nobody in this movie being a decent shot at
yes,
all.
oh
Like
my
No.
God,
Oh
And
yeah.
nobody will
80
hit him in the head.
80% of the fucking
Same.
shots fired were at point blank, and they still fucking missed the
the,
fucker.
the worst one was after the cop in the flashback gets strangled and he's just walking away and he's walking at a normal pace. He's not running away at all. And the guy's like shooting him over and over again. He's just walking right by him and they're always like hitting right behind him.
Yeah,
It's like he's right.
Yeah.
It's not like he's small or anything. He's huge. Like, how do
yeah,
you not
Well,
hit him?
the thing is, like, the big thing when they like all corner him and shit, like nobody hits him in the head. Like
Yeah.
even the thing when like Karen walks up and shoots him, like she shoots him like in the back of his shoulder, like shoot him in the fucking head.
Yeah, double tap.
Or like when she stabbed him with the pitchfork and he falls over and he's not getting up for a while, take the pitchfork out and stab him in the face.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's like it's movie things. It's that second act thing. It's like, oh well, they got to keep him alive for the third movie.
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Another thing that I think this movie did really well that so many other Halloween movies have tried to do and failed spectacularly at, and it does it on a small scale, but it still does it. It gives us a bit of a character study into Michael Myers, the person, but it doesn't demystify him at all.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we get some of
Rob
that.
Zombie.
Yeah, yeah. Or even the Thorn trilogy, where they tried to make him like the victim of some
Yeah.
sort of cult or whatever. But
He's like magic.
yeah, but here it's like,
He's
I mean,
like magic.
I mean, obviously,
Magic.
like obviously, there's going to be some sort of paranormal aspect when we get into the third movie, considering how they damn near did everything except light him on fire at the end of this movie, and he still got up. But I like that there's just like this like I don't know if you guys noticed it or felt it watching the scene when like at the end when the whole mob surrounds him and
Mhm.
he just he bends over and picks up his mask and puts it back on. And like earlier when the one cop was talking about how, he's like a 6-year-old boy with the body of an adult and the mind of an animal. Something about the way Michael just kind of looks around as he's surrounded and just picks up that mask. To me, you get that sense of that 6-year-old boy, like something about that scene. You kind of get the feeling that he feels like without that mask, he's vulnerable and he's exposed, and you kind of get that sense of that little boy still. And
Yeah.
It's
there's
his
just
defense mechanism.
yeah, and there's those little moments like that with Michael and the way he moves and carries himself through this movie that I feel like we got a little bit more of a character study of him, but we didn't demystify him or weaken him at all. We didn't make him any less of a threat or any less scary.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I thought it was a really nice change of pace how the people that Michael kills actually put up a fucking fight most of the time. Like
Mhm.
the
Hmm.
daughter fucking stabs him in the gut like 6 or 7 times before he throws her down the stairs.
Yeah.
The one lady even manages to get away. Like he's not he's obviously a fucking force of nature, but the dude still takes a fucking beating throughout the movie, and I thought that was a nice, refreshing change of pace as opposed to just the second you see him, you're dead. Um,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just overall, I think it has a couple minor like plot points that I'm just like, why is that a thing? Um, but overall, I think I like it at least as much as 2018. I would be willing to say maybe even a little bit more if I were to go back and like rewatch 18 of 2018. But I think it's just overall a solid movie, and I don't understand the bad reviews. Like it's very well paced, like you guys said. It does not let up the second the movie starts at all. And it I gotta point out the middle installment syndrome that it suffers from, but I also feel like it did it on purpose because it knew what it was and it knew what it was setting up. So that's pretty much my full thoughts on it. Whoever wants to go next. Whoever wants to say anything else.
uh,
Why did the dad of the boyfriend go into the house alone at the end? Like, what was the point of that?
Yeah, you already brought the
Yeah, I
kids
think
this
it's like,
far.
Peyote.
yeah, it's like, yeah,
So,
why did he drag the teenagers with him just to go in by himself?
but also,
so
like,
he
what was the whole
so he
point
could
of
get
Tommy Doyle
squashed in
running
the
up?
attic.
Yeah, like the thing is, like, I'm going in alone. You stay here. Like, what was the whole point of y'all rounding up a gang? Like, what? Why are you fighting solo now? But
He
I
wasn't
don't know.
fighting solo, he was fighting Michael.
Oh.
Huh.
But yeah, I just found that to
That's a
be
me joke.
but yeah, no. I mean,
Um,
it's it's fine. You don't have to agree. I just
Good,
don't
because I
think it
don't.
works that well. Um, but I don't think it. I don't know. I thought the whole point of this new timeline, this series, going back to the original, was to try to live up to the classiness of Carpenter. And I think like there's just too many moments that seem kind of tasteless and I don't know, just too messy. And again, it's like there's some like I don't know if it's aesthetic or mood or tone, but there's just some parts that just feel too what I imagine the Rob Zombie movies feel like.
Oh boy,
oh
no,
no,
no.
you didn't fucking leave the theater with tetanus.
Yeah.
Did you
uh,
ever watch the Rob Zombie movies, Blake?
No, he hasn't, so he's not
I,
allowed to make that comparison.
well, I can kind of do whatever I want because I'm in my own house, but
Ooh,
you can't do anything.
ooh, ooh.
But this, if anything,
I could change all the passwords on our shit.
that guy going
Ooh.
splat, that guy going splat told me like, okay, whatever's in the zombie movies, I can handle it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like, I don't know. I think Halloween Kills might have been gorier than the Rob Zombie ones.
Yeah.
Mm,
It was more tasteful though, I would say,
yeah,
by far.
The Rob
Well,
Zombie movies are just
see, the Rob Zombie movies aren't like dirty and gritty for the violence. It's the characters.
Yeah, everybody's a
like
fucking
literally,
degenerate
yeah, like literally nobody's fucking likable in those movies.
or
Like
redeemable.
even like Lori and Loomis, like even
Yeah.
they're not likable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like yeah, and the thing is, it's not the violence; it's like the dirtiness. Like it's just like everybody's like fucking white trash. Like literally in the actual director's cut, that's not 8 hours long. There's no like because in the I'll tell you, Blake, because you haven't seen it. In the theatrical version of the Rob Zombie Halloween, when Michael escapes like the mental institution, he's just walking and like he just like breaks his handcuffs and like beats up the guards or whatever and escapes.
Mhm.
And then it goes into that whole scene of him escaping because they have like a long drawn out part of it.
Hmm.
But in the director's cut that was on the
Ugh.
DVD,
Ugh.
what happens is
It's so gross.
Michael Myers gets provoked. So like he's in his cell where he makes like masks, like he makes like paper mache masks, and they're all over his fucking walls and shit. And these two guards, or it's like a guard and his buddy, they
Hmm.
bring a female patient in, a female mental patient in, and for some reason they bring her into Michael Myers' room for some fucking reason, and they start raping her, and it's very graphic.
Yeah.
Okay, I take it back. That's tasteless.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as they're raping her, they like are messing with his masks on the wall, and then he gets up and like kills all of them, and then he breaks out of the mental institution. Like,
Mhm.
it's not the violence, it's the other shit.
Yeah.
Something's like over the top silly about this all going on, and they get distracted by the fucking masks and start giving him shit.
Yeah,
on,
and then he's like,
on top of raping a woman.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
Jesus
it's like
Christ.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, like while they're raping a woman, like they crinkle one of his masks, and then he like fucking kills everybody. So
Yeah.
it's like really, that's what made him bust out of the mental institution.
It's
Yeah.
Like that's
yeah.
what had to happen.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think this 8 hour director's cut was actually a tetanus induced
Nightmare.
Hallucination.
yeah.
Jeez.
But the thing I will say, like, I think one of the like what Donnie said, like, yeah, Halloween Kills like really suffers from like part two syndrome
Mhm.
because the 2018 movie, if they had never made a sequel to it, like it could have just have been a standalone movie.
Hmm.
It has that 3 act structure, like you could assume Michael Myers died in the fire and like
Yeah. I think it had a
Mhm.
really good ending. The
yeah
2018.
Yeah.
yeah and but the thing is like this movie, like if let's say hypothetically, like if we didn't get a third movie, this movie would stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
And I guess that's a point I'll add is like if
it
when
doesn't stand on its own.
when Ends comes out, when Halloween Ends comes out, if it's like a home run knocks out of the park, that will retroactively make this one better. Even better than what it already is if you already like it. But yeah.
Probably, yeah. But the thing is too, I was shocked. Like, if we're going to spoilers, like I was actually shocked that Tommy Doyle died. I thought like with them,
Well, we
like
didn't see him die. We just saw Michael Myers
Oh.
fucking stomp him and gallons of blood come out of nowhere. He could have made it.
Well,
Crawled into the dumpster.
well, the thing is, like the fucking sheriff made it. Like the fucking sheriff got stabbed like multiple times in the neck, and he got ran over. Like Sartan runs over his body,
yeah.
and he's laying in a hospital bed, like talking and everything in the next movie.
So like
So
I
that-
could with the beginning when the boyfriend like shows up and finds the cop laying on the ground, like I could have swore the boyfriend got killed in 2018.
Me too. Me too.
No, like
No,
like
The other boyfriend.
he just kind of dropped after a
his
while.
friend. No, like the boyfriend stops being in the movie after he takes the granddaughter's cell phone and throws it in the pudding. Like,
Yo, I fucking wanted him to die after that.
Yeah.
not,
Like I was fully ready for it.
Not the cheating on her, like throwing her phone in fucking pudding. Like it was like 18
Yep,
months
just-
before she could
just
get a
that.
new phone, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
No, so if the sheriff can make it, there's a chance Tommy Doyle can.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying hypothetically, if he is dead, I'm shocked.
Because
It was a very minor case of having your head fucking squashed in.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Anthony,
it was a semi.
because Anthony,
Yeah.
Anthony Michael Hall had said, "I'm totally down to come back for Halloween Ends," but it's also like Halloween Ends is supposed to start filming in January. Like, if you were supposed to come back, I feel like you would know by now. Like,
I'm just waiting on the call.
Yep.
you would have gotten a copy of the script.
Any
They'll
day
call.
now.
They'll call. They're just making some edits.
Yeah.
I need you to go do it again, Michael. Michael, say something.
Hold on, I got something in my mouth.
What? Oh.
I got peanut butter on my penis.
Honestly,
Why
I
does
think
it-
that joke's getting funnier.
That brings me to the question. If that's the case, why does it sound like something's in your mouth?
Oh.
I'm eating gushers, man. Like,
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, is that a euphemism?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm eating Dr. Sartain's head. His head turned into a fucking gusher.
Jesus Christ.
Michael, say something.
Oh shit.
But
His fucking brain and eyeballs squirt out of his head. They blink a couple times.
but no, like, I don't know if anybody mentioned, like, I can't remember. I'm sorry, but like when Big John gets fucking killed, like, Michael Myers like fucking pops his fucking eyeballs out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
That was the part I was like, damn.
Yeah.
The one that made me flinch was the scene in the car where he stabs the husband underneath the eye with the
Yeah.
knife.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that made me flinch.
Yeah.
And there's no like blood or anything in that kill either. It's just
Was that-
ugh.
I can also say I love that 2018 in this movie like keeps showing the Halloween 3 masks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I love
awesome.
that shit.
Yeah.
Because like Halloween 3 is so underrated.
It is.
Yo, those three kids were annoying little shits. In
Yeah,
this
they
one.
deserve
Yeah,
to die.
Like,
They were probably like filming.
yeah, it's cool.
They're probably like filming TikToks of like Michael Myers killing people.
No, it's fucking cool to play a prank on Big John, Little John, but then they like didn't fucking run away. They stuck around and talked. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But no, they had to be told that he stabbed his own sister in the tits.
Ew.
I'd be like, fuck you, I have my candy, I'm running. Like, they were little shits. Why would they stick around and talk?
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
I mean, that's just Gen Z for you, man.
We got this big bag of candy, and there's a guy in a white mask that keeps watching us. We're not afraid.
We think he's a pervert.
We think he's a pervert.
We're gonna get them canceled.
so wait, hold on. I need an actual consensus on this. What did we actually think of Anthony Michael Hall as Tommy Doyle? Like,
There goes my hero.
I mean, I thought he was
like
fine.
I will say though, I half of me really likes this moment because I'm like, oh, that's very sweet of him. Then the other half is like kind of, he's kind of a spaz. How he has to like run into her hospital room.
Yeah.
Just as you protected me 40 years ago, I'm gonna protect you tonight. Like, okay.
Yeah, I was
40,
gonna
he's
fucking be like,
40 years later, little Tommy's still trying to sleep with the babysitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, oh, go get him, Slugger.
I love when he's fucking getting ready when they're all about to take Michael out, and he's just like fucking dancing with the bat there.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just all you have to do is just run over the Blue Bridge and be like, hey, somebody said all country roads ain't shit.
Oh god.
No, you just need to run into the downtown mall and just shout, "Hey, Allegheny actually beat Fort Hill this year."
Yeah.
We'll get him. We played a good game though.
Yeah, we played hard, boys.
It's like,
It was
Hey,
close.
everyone.
We both had numbers.
No, you just be like, hey everyone, Larry the Cable Guy's a Democrat.
What?
Now we're getting worked up.
It was all an act.
All right. Well, any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Sean, you've been awfully quiet.
I did have a question for you guys. I wanted to get a consensus. I don't know if this is a plot hole or if maybe I just don't remember 2018 as well as I think. But am I?
It was a pretty busy
correct?
year.
Yeah, it was. Was didn't everybody think that Lori was crazy? I
Pretty
was under that
much.
impression that, so that's kind of why I was a little jarred whenever everybody like kind of band together and was like, he's been terrorizing us for all this time.
Well,
I thought it was
feel like
mainly her like
yeah, it wasn't like
close family.
Yeah, it wasn't like the whole town thought she was crazy. It was just like her daughter thought
Okay.
she was like
Yeah.
overly paranoid and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody thought she was like a liar, but I think like
Right.
she was being overreacting.
Yeah.
Like
There was also
being a
there
little
was
too
also the
cocky.
fact, I mean, really in 2018, like she hadn't like gone out in public in like forever, right? It was that the
Yeah.
idea, like she was like held up in her
Yeah, I was
shack.
thinking, I was like, does she like normally go to the bars once a year with like
'Cause
Tommy
I'm-
Doyle
I-
and the nurse and all that?
I got the
Because
impression.
my
I got
thought
the
was like in this one, like, oh, she's back, shit got real.
The impression I got was that Tommy Doyle had literally not seen her since he was a child.
Or at least for a very long
Oh,
time, because when he
yeah.
makes that speech in the bar, he's like, here's to you, Lori, wherever you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my impression is
never
that
mind.
she only goes out in public when absolutely necessary.
Well, the funny thing when he says like wherever you are, it's like, dude, she still lives in Haddonfield.
Yeah. No, basically, Tommy Doyle's little toast was like, to Bill Brasky.
Bill Brasky used to take a bubble bath.
Jesus Christ.
They all just proceed to break character and start laughing.
Oh,
Did you know
fuck.
Bill
Son of
Brasky-
a bitch.
Did you know Bill Brasky used to take a bubble bath with my uncle?
Yeah, they all, and then Chris Farley's like teeth come out. He's like, he's a son of a bitch.
No, but to answer your question, Sean, I think like mainly her daughter, but I think like
Okay.
at most people are like, "Hey, Lori, it's time to move on. You got to let it go."
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I
Yeah.
guess that makes more sense. But the other thing, I guess that brings into the other question. So she must have gone out because she was making out with that cop in the hospital bed next to him, right? Like she was telling that whole story, just like, yeah, I wanted you to kiss me and I wanted more, but
She said it in that voice
like-
too.
no, that's what he said.
Well, that was. I guess he was having flashbacks in between when he was remembering the Titans.
I
Jesus
don't know what
Christ.
the deal was.
Oh, I see what you
So-
did there.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, there were definitely some things that like had questions of, but I guess we kind of solved them there.
I'll say that like I had my nitpicks or whatever, my personal ones, but like I didn't hate it at all. Like I still
So you think the 2018 one's better than this one?
by at least a whole letter grade, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely say the 2018 one is still probably better as like the final verdict. But
Like-
the thing is, I was still satisfied with this, and I think it's more than, for a sequel, I think it's pretty solid.
Like
Yeah.
2018 for me, 2018 is like a B plus, and this is like a solid C, maybe like almost flirting with a C minus, but I don't know.
Flirting
I mean,
with the C minus.
It made me want to see the third movie, so I guess it did
Yeah.
its job.
Yeah,
No,
That's the thing too.
if I like after walking out of this movie, if I had the ability and availability to walk right into the third movie, I totally would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't overachieve, but it didn't underachieve.
Yeah.
It
It
achieved.
did
Did
its
what
job.
you needed.
It
did-
clocked
yeah,
in
exactly.
and it clocked out.
And that's all I can ask for some things sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
not upset that I paid money for it.
It's for me, it's like it's trying to be like the ultimate ode to John Carpenter, but even John Carpenter didn't play around with blood and guts that much. Like he never got gory himself.
No,
So
well,
that's kind of where my confusion comes in.
I think it's just kind of that's the state of horror now. Like every horror movie has gore.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even the suspenseful ones like Hereditary and shit like that, like even that had its fair share of
I
gore.
mean, you got a 6'5", 250-pound like football motherfucker running around killing people. He ain't gonna put bandages on their boo boos.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nobody dies in this movie. They just
I-
get really big boo boos.
And it's
I
also
do-
like I said I feel like 2018 was the one
As
like you
reported
said.
in the jungle.
2018 was supposed to be the the ode to John Carpenter, and was the one that was like, we're going to strip this franchise back down to what it used to be. And then they took that with this one. We're like, okay, we got it to where we want it, so now we can start telling more of our own story.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with the sentiment of, it was like, if anything, it was more so a damned if you do, damned if you don't, where if they tried to just replicate the pace and speed of, or the tone and mood or whatever of 2018, they would have just gotten like slapped on the wrist for just doing 2018 all over again. Like people would have been like, "Oh, make a different movie." Yeah.
I am curious though that how is the movie gonna like end? Like, are they gonna like legit kill Michael Myers off?
Sean has a theory on that. Sean, please share your theory of you heard it here first.
Oh, you mean where they're just like they're gonna kill him with love?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
It's gonna be like Kylo Ren and Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
No, it was something like, what was it that was said? Like Jamie Lee Curtis apparently said that like the ending of this next movie is gonna like piss off some people. I can tell you right now, if that were to happen, I'd be pretty pissed off. If all you needed was a fucking hug.
It's totally gonna be like, he's gonna apologize, and they're gonna be like, "You heard that, Sheriff, right?" And the sheriff's gonna be like, "I heard him. He said he's sorry."
He said,
like the end of the fucking Grinch.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I heard him. He said
Cheer up,
he's
dude.
sorry.
It's Halloween.
Fahu for it.
He's gonna cut the roast beast.
Yeah.
Michael Myers. Honestly, think about that. Imagine if they were to like literally like Danny McBride gets his hand full on into this fucking movie, and then that's how he ends it. Oh God.
You're just gonna give him a hug.
It's like we already lost like James Franco and Seth Rogen doing shit together. Like, don't fuck up Danny McBride.
Tommy
the
Doyle.
21st century.
Tommy Doyle comes out with a single Band-Aid on his knee. I'm okay, guys.
Okay, guys.
I hope Laurie Strode doesn't die again, because I'm gonna be like, man, this granddaughter cannot catch a fucking break. Oh, but other than that, I've said my piece. I'm all out unless anybody else says anything. But I'm done.
Well, apparently the third movie is going to take place 4 years later.
There's that too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the fourth.
Yeah.
The next movie is going to take place 4 years later, and apparently it will address the pandemic.
Oh,
I don't understand how some of that stuff is going to work, because I thought the original plan was to be all in one night.
we're gonna see Michael Myers with like a little disposable mask over his William Shatner mask.
That's another thing. Apparently, the third film will acknowledge the existence of the pandemic.
I just said that like 30 seconds ago.
Fucking
apparently,
Blake's first dementia moment.
Apparently, like, the third film will acknowledge the existence of the pandemic.
I don't like you anymore.
Okay.
It's like, all right, Johnny, 2 times.
Get the paper.
I heard the third movie's gonna have COVID in it.
Just as you protected me 40 years ago, I'm going to protect you tonight. Don't worry, I could swing real good.
I feel like, you know what? I feel like if we if we remade these movies and like filmed ourselves as Halloween movies, like I feel like Kogel would play Tommy Doyle.
He sure shit wouldn't play Michael Myers.
You know, all this could be solved if
I'm casting Kogel as Tommy Doyle. We're gonna do like our own fan version.
I didn't.
Kogel would do the eyebrow like raised perfectly.
Yeah. Even though I hate this character, I'll be Dr. Sartain.
Paul, was it? I didn't really watch the '90s ones. Were you guys saying that Paul Rudd was in one of them?
Yeah, he's in.
Yeah,
6.
he's Tommy Doyle in The Curse of Michael Myers.
None of this would have happened. None of this would have happened if he just crawled in his ass and got real big.
It's your conscience. Yeah. Yeah, the Thorn trilogy gets a little weird.
I think Paul Rudd wouldn't have fit into this movie, because a Paul Rudd character would have easily been like, I think we should all just move out of the town.
Well, it's also
Yeah.
like when people are like, why didn't they just get Paul Rudd to play Tommy Doyle again? I'm just like, because Paul Rudd looks like he would have been a kid in the 90s, not a kid in the 70s. Like, the man
Motherfucker
hasn't
hasn't
aged.
aged in 25 years.
Yeah, like, at least
Yeah.
Anthony Michael Hall actually looks like the age Tommy Doyle would be.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine Paul
Well,
Rudd going in there telling Jamie Lee Curtis, "You protected me when I was a boy. I'll protect you now."
what, fucking last week?
Yeah. Like he's like he just comes and is like, I'll protect you, Grandma.
Are you one of my granddaughter's friends?
Okay. Okay.
Nah, you
so
look too young.
I want to ask real quick since before we head out. So I know not everybody here has seen all the Halloween movies.
I have.
Donnie, have you seen them all, Trevor?
Not even close. I've seen the first one a good many times, and then these newer ones like second to that. But yeah, all the others I've seen like one or none.
Okay. How many did you see, Blake?
I've seen the original 2018 and this one, but I actually do want to watch the other ones though.
Okay. And Sean, you said the same thing. You saw the original and then these two.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, we established he accidentally watched H2O.
Yeah.
He watched
Yeah.
the 8-hour cut of Rob Zombie.
I would like to watch that one though.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, so sure, I feel like Trevor has a comprehension of it, but like I'll start with Donnie. Donnie, how would you rank the timelines of all them? Not every single movie, but because there's like 4 timelines now. So how would you rank them?
From best to worst, like the best one's probably this current one. I guess we'll call it the Blumhouse timeline. That's probably the best one. Following that one's probably the Thorn trilogy with like 1, 2, and then 4, 5, and 6. That timeline's probably second place for me. And then the worst one's probably 1, 2, H2O, and Resurrection. Oh, and then no, bottom's the Rob Zombie timeline, but yeah.
Yeah,
Bob's
Yeah.
Rob Zombie one.
Yeah.
What about you, Trevor?
I think mine is exactly what Donnie said. Like same exact order. Yeah.
And it's a shame because H2O is a decent movie, but god damn, this fucking Resurrection fucking suck ass.
Yeah. Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Like,
no, that scene's awesome. Like Busta Rhymes like spin kicks Michael Myers.
Michael Myers
like,
gets killed by fucking Busta Rhymes. Fuck that movie.
Busta Rhymes spin kicks him. Like and not only that, he dresses up as Michael Myers and like mouths off to him because he thinks
Yeah.
like he's like some extra or whatever.
Fuck that movie.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
hoping the new Matrix is the first movie with resurrections in the title. That's good.
Yeah.
20,
Williams.
20, 20 I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't have high hopes for that movie.
That trailer was really good though.
I guess.
Oh my God. I love all the fucking meta theories on it.
Yeah. He never got out, man.
No, there's like this whole ridiculous theory that there's a movie in the universe, or at least they're trying to convince Neo that.
Huh. That'd be interesting.
And that's what's going on when he's in the office with that guy, and he's like, "You're back to where you started, the Matrix." Like it's like, oh, it's an actor returning to a former role. It's fucking weird and meta, but I don't know. They might be onto something.
Huh. But anyways, so yeah, the way I would rank it, I would say yeah, probably yeah. This current timeline, I would say, is probably the best one. That's the thing, yeah. And I really like H2O. I don't know if it's just because like that movie like came out around the right time for me. Like I was like,
I mean, H2O is honestly a decent movie, and if they would have
Yeah.
if they would have done what Jamie Lee Curtis would have wanted, it would have been a great movie. But
yeah, and like the ending, I don't want to spoil it for some of the guys that haven't seen it. Like
yeah,
the ending to H2O is fucking awesome.
yeah, it is.
That's
That's why I'm saying if they would have did what Jamie
It
Lee
has
Curtis would have wanted, it would have like been great.
Yeah, other than the ending to the original Halloween when, Loomis looks down and Michael Myers gets away and it plays the iconic music, H2O has the best ending ever. Like that movie, I remember like people just going like, yeah, when that
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Like if you guys haven't seen it, like you got to watch H2O. Like it's the ending of that movie is fucking awesome, and then the Halloween Resurrections like
Fucking
fucking ruins it.
ruins it.
Yeah, like changes it, like retcons it and ruins it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would be like third. Yeah, I would say like the Thorn timeline because like Halloween, I like Halloween 2. I grew up on that one. I like Halloween 2. Halloween 4, even though they're like Michael Myers like looks like a fucking doofus.
Yeah, he
Like
does.
it's like his mask makes him look like someone who's like in accounting. And the guy who was playing Michael Myers looks like he's wearing like padding in his
Mhm.
suit. Like I'm pretty sure he's wearing like football pads underneath his jumpsuit, so he looks too stocky.
Mhm.
And like, but that movie is decent. And then like five is, meh. And then yeah, six with Paul Rudd. Like six gets kind of out there because that's when it really gets into the cult shit. And like Michael Myers like fucked his niece and had a baby. Like that's literally in the movie.
Which is the one that's featured in Malibu's Most Wanted, where he's like, "Run, bitch, run! He gonna kill you."
Uh,
What
I
what
think
year
that's Resurrections.
what year did
Hmm.
Malibu's Most Wanted come out?
2002.
Then, yeah, that's probably Resurrection.
I think it's Resurrections. But uh,
Terrific.
I mean,
Mom.
I'm not trying to sound mean, but like Halloween Resurrections is very BET.
Yeah, it is.
Whoa.
It is.
I mean, like,
just look at the
like
poster.
it. If you watch the movie, like, it feels like a rap music video. Like
It does.
that. It's very much a Busta Rhymes movie featuring Michael Myers.
And Tyra Banks for some fucking reason.
No, like literally, no, like I'll just say this movie. Literally, this movie like wraps up the Jamie Lee Curtis stuff in like the first
Okay, I fucking
ten
caught that.
minutes.
You're not clever.
What?
It
What?
wraps up.
Oh, you fucker! I didn't mean to do that. No, but no, like it like takes all the stuff from H2O, like retcons it, and like ends it 10 minutes in, and then the rest of the movie is Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks are hosting like a reality show in the Myers house with like hidden cameras and shit, because hidden cameras were fucking big in the early 2000s. And Michael Myers, like, of course, comes home, so like they're actually getting attacked by Michael Myers. So it's like it's it's all the like worst stuff of the 2000s, like in a Michael Myers movie,
Yeah.
basically all the cringy 2000y stuff. But yeah. And then I don't know. I don't know if I'd put that timeline or the Rob Zombie timeline last. I don't know.
I would put the Rob Zombie timeline last just because I feel like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is the only movie that is worse than Resurrection.
See, I don't know. I think Resurrections might be worse.
Resurrection is definitely,
How silly it is.
I mean, Resurrection at the very least is definitely the most unnecessary sequel.
Resurrections is more entertaining than Rob Zombie's 2 because, excuse me, it's funny. But like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, like if that movie wasn't a Halloween movie, like if it was just a random Rob Zombie movie, I feel like people would like it more because it does have like some cool shit in it. Like like it has some like cool ass visuals, like randomly like Michael Myers has this vision and shit of like it's like this weird black and white Halloween scene where like there's like pumpkin creature dudes and they're like eating like a feast and have a festival and shit. And it's a really cool visual, but I'm like at the same time, I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with Michael Myers? And then, like, but then like that because he had to have his fucking wife in it again. Like
Yeah.
Michael Myers is having visions of his mother, who like his wife plays, and she's walking around with like a white horse, and she's like, "Kill for me, Michael," and stuff like that. And it's like, and apparently, like, no lie, like I saw this quoted. Apparently, the whole white horse thing, Donnie,
Oh yeah,
that
Rob Zombie
that was
added it in
that was
like literally last minute.
yeah, like it wasn't in the script at all. And then one day he was like driving somewhere and I guess saw like a white horse on like a farm or a ranch and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's a cool visual. I'm gonna put that in Halloween."
Yeah.
It's like what? And no, literally, they emphasize it so much that they put a quote at the beginning of beginning of the movie about a white horse. Like like sometimes in movies when they put a quotation or a definition of a word at the beginning or something, he literally puts like a definition of like a white horse in mythology. Like it's like, oh my god. But yeah,
Well, on that
and
note,
I
does,
do.
does anybody have any final thoughts on anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I got Donnie. You gotta. I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but you gotta quit calling me at 3 a.m. saying "Evil dies tonight" over and over.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I'm trying to get some fucking. I'm trying to get some fucking sleep. Pardon my French.
I'm
It's a
sorry.
Facebook.
I'm just really fucking hyped.
So it's okay. So it's okay. I'll give you this one.
Well, thanks, Boo. All right, anything else from anybody?
Nope.
Everybody still alive?
Excited to see the third one.
I'm good.
Yeah, sorta.
Yeah.
Sorta.
Sorta, kinda.
You awake, Blake? As a past your bedtime?
No, I'm good. I was done.
I was just waiting for you to shut the
I
fuck up.
I was
Yeah.
listening.
I went on a Halloween franchise rant. I'm sorry. I'm a big Halloween fan. I can't help it.
I'm a big Halloween fan.
All right, well, hey, on that note, I think it's a good place to wrap the show up here tonight. So, everybody who listened, thank you for listening. And if you missed us, we'll be on Spotify, Pandora, all the fun stuff tomorrow, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Tomorrow morning, we'll be on all of that. Be sure to follow us all online at Fat Minute Radio on all the fun social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Parlor. And on that note, thank you. Fuck you. Good night.